Hey guys, it's Bren the Paleo Dude and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the new Hammond collection Tyrannosaurus Rex and Stegosaurus Juvenile figures. These guys have really nice box art on the side. You can see the lighting, as always, is fantastic. I've seen a lot of criticisms online about the baby Stegosaurus head, and I can definitely see where they're coming from. It doesn't really hold up to the mainline Stegosaurus figure, which has a, I'd say, more accurate sculpt in terms of the head. The plates are very different. We'll compare them once they're out of the box, but we'll start with the young Rex. This one's really cool. I've seen a lot of photography of it online, and it's definitely starting to grow on me. When I first saw the concept images, the leaked photos and stuff, I wasn't too big of a fan, but having it in person and then seeing a lot of the photos online, the proportions of the figure are very nice, and the color is actually quite decent. It even has articulation on its tiny little arms. I think that is phenomenal, very fantastic. It provides more posability for photography and stuff, but the head, being pretty small, I'd say is quite accurate to the film. I'm trying to open the mouth here so we can get a look inside. There we go. And the teeth are well painted. You can see even the roof of the mouth is painted. It has some pink around the eye, and then printed on eye, and then some like pink around the chin area, and then some like lighter kind of yellow there. So we'll actually snap on the tail because I want to see this figure in its entirety. I think, I don't know, it's kind of not fully in, maybe? I don't know. Let's try that again. There we go. I had to push very hard. There's like a nice crisp snap, clunk noise. So there you have it. So you can see the proportions are great. Very long tail, and even paint on the tail, thank goodness, with all these little stripes going down the back, even on the legs, and the toenails are painted. So this figure is fully well done. So yeah, my problem originally was that the body was quite big and the head was quite small, but now looking at it in person, it looks perfect. It doesn't look like it has a tiny little head. For some reason, a lot of the promo images had it at some weird angles where the body looked quite, thick, large. But no, this is pretty great. The neck articulation, you can have it go straight down like that. It looks a little funky with that kind of bulge sticking out, so I'll put it back into its like standard positioning. And the tail is rubbery, so you can bend it around like that. And then has, of course, that ball joint where it connects. And the legs even have articulation at the ankle and the, I don't know what to call that, lower foot, I guess, because this full piece here is the foot. You can make this little guy run, fully stretch out the leg like that, have the arms stretch forward. Like, there's so much to do with it, and I think it's a phenomenal figure. In comparison to what we've got previously, we'll take a look in a second. I'll put it in its standard pose. We'll compare it to the Amber collection and the Legacy collection. So let's do Legacy first. It kind of has an in-between of that light green and like darker green. Definitely looks more natural. The brow ridges over the eyes are less pronounced. Definitely the head's less cartoonish. The arms, I think they're the same length. And of course, yeah, the legs, they're a little scrunched on this one. I'll move them out a bit. There we go. Yeah, the legs are the same length too in that standard position. Now let's look at the tail for a second. Ooh, I think the tail's a tad bit longer. It's definitely sharper on the original figure. It ends in like a nice point, whereas this one is a lot thicker. And of course the stripes down the back are different, vastly different. on these two figures. So move them out of the way. The Amber Collection Baby Rex has 3 points of articulation on the arms and is very green, like green. The neck doesn't have the same level of articulation, and the legs are monstrously long. So let's... And huge feet, too. They're massive. Here we go. But these guys, I think, are close to the same length. I think... Okay. Amber Collection is a tad bit longer, but very, very chonky. So less accurate to the movie, I would assume, especially that chunky head, but nonetheless, it's still a pretty good figure because the nails are painted on both the hands and the feet, whereas on this one, it's just the legs. The muzzle actually has paint on that kind of strap, whereas I don't think this one has paint on that little buckle. No, you can see the buckle is unpainted. So we'll put the muzzle on and the little leg thing. Here we go. I like how there's a little clip on that, so you can clip that on. Probably should have put the clip on the inside so it looks more natural. A tad bit difficult to get it over, but it's kind of stretchy, so that's fine. Now I'm determined. Oh my goodness. Why is it not going on? Try and pull it. Nope. Okay, I'll just leave it. Whatever, it sticks the same way. So there's the muzzle and the bandage on the leg. And then, yeah, this one obviously has a bit more detail because it's larger. And the legs are automatically, like, longer, so it comes out as taller. But yeah, so there's the comparison of those two. I definitely lean more towards this guy. It's realistic color and proportions. It doesn't feel too chonky or too big. I mean, this was meant for the Amber Collection lineup, but still, I do prefer this guy as the best iteration of the young Rex from the Lost World. Next, we'll move on to the Stegosaurus. There we go. Can't wait to compare it to its mainline counterpart. I think the paint on this one is definitely better in terms of accuracy. The tail, oh my goodness, the tail, look at that. It's so tiny, but it has a little bit of articulation to it. You can kind of rotate it, and the paint, of course, is really nice. So let's pop that in. Definitely has a build like, is it Spike from The Land Before Time? Very similar color too. I don't know if this tail is gonna make a popping noise or not. I think that's in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in. It's like a weird shiny glue mark on the leg there. So let's kind of pose it. All the limbs are pretty stiff. And it's a little bit, harder to kind of maneuver. It's such a small figure. The feet are supposed to have articulation, you can see, but they're not wanting to work with me. I'm gonna have to fiddle with that later. I don't want to, like, put too much force on it. The front legs, though, don't have articulation at the feet. They just have it here at the elbow. Yeah, I like to pose it, but those back feet are just not wanting to budge. There we go. I got one. Okay, very awkward to maneuver that. The neck articulation is just one ball joint, and I think, yeah, and the head rotates. There's no ball joint for the head, but you can swivel it like that. See, and then the mouth opens and closes, which of course is a step up from the mainline figure. If I could get my finger in, there we go. There, I'll kind of leave it open like that. Yeah, paint around the eye, kind of like an orangey color. The beak is painted. The bottom of the inside of the mouth, like the tongue, is painted. Belly paint, no tail paint except for the spikes and the plates. And then the plates are kind of on this like separate rubbery thing, but they're painted. And then these little tiny bumps on the neck aren't painted. So comparing it to the mainline one, I do like the mainline's coloration. As much as I'd say the Hammond collection one is more accurate of a paint job. Also, the plates on the back are taller. The tail, let's see. I think the tail looks nicer on the mainline figure. It's not as small. It like has weight to it. Obviously, they had to make it segmented and posable, but I just think because this one lacks that posability, it looks a lot nicer. The proportions are the same except for the head. The head is a lot smaller on the Hammond collection figure. The mainline figure has a larger, rounder head. I just like the way it's positioned. It looks more like a Stegosaurus head. The way the eye is placed and painted on the mainline figure looks more normal and natural. This guy kind of looks fugly. He's got like a sloping forehead. The ear is pronounced on the back of the head, whereas this one I don't even think has the ear. And you can see there's little plates on the neck here, where the plates on this guy's neck are kind of just two little lumps, whereas this one has 2 rows of pronounced plates. And the head looks more like a Stegosaurus head, but like in juvenile form. I don't know how to explain it, but it just aesthetically looks better. We'll close that mouth. Even the beak is painted. As you can see from a front view, top view. For some reason, this guy looks bald, and like the head is so slim and small. But obviously, they were trying to go for a different look. They didn't want to make it look identical, but I do like the way this figure looks a lot better. Its proportions are nicer. The head's larger. It's chunkier. It's rounded out. Everything feels more proportionate, right? Whereas this one has like small head, small plates, small tail, and big body. Like, yeah, it looks good though. Nonetheless, it looks very nice. And once we get a Hammond collection Lost World Stego, I think they'd look great together. But for now, I really like this guy a lot better, just in terms of how aesthetically pleasing it looks. Looks a lot more natural. But yeah, no, this figure's still good nonetheless. Like, the paint and the posability are fantastic. But if you're going for a baby Stegosaurus, I'd go for the Legacy Collection one over the Hammond Collection one. So there we have it, the Hammond Collection Juvenile Stegosaurus and Tyrannosaurus figure. Hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing and review. Be sure to check out my other videos on my channel and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you all in the next video then. Bye-bye.